Welcome everybody. It's our Tuesday night team call. It's Marilyn Mosier here, and we're excited to have a special guest on our call tonight. And it's the beginning of March. It's March Madness. We are super excited for a blowout month. And as you know, we have a contest going that I want to share at the end of the call. But what we wanted to do is get to a very special guest that I invited on, and she's an amazing physician assistant, board certified, has her husband, and she lives down in Georgia on an island of St. Simons. Is that what it's called?
St. Simons.
Simons, okay. And just an amazing woman, talented, two beautiful daughters. She joined LifeVantage just, what was it, 2-3 years ago?
4 years ago. Yeah, just taking the product, actually.
Yeah, and just started using the product, but didn't really want to share it and get into the business side. But then you went to an elite event with Dr. Sean McKee, and that changed everything. So I'm going to toss it over to you and let you share your story, and then we're going to have you talk to us about the importance of, you know, our product line, especially the NRF2 and the glutathione, and share some slides on that and how important that's in our defense against all this scary viruses out there, and just overall health. And also just kind of what drew you into the business and instead of just being a product user. So I'm going to bring it back to you. And Debbie Zito, thank you for joining us tonight. So special.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Marilyn. Can you see the LifeVantage in the back?
Yes.
So I'm a perfect example, you guys. If you can get to Pro 7 and not know how to do a Zoom, not how to do Google Drive. I have learned so much this past year, and I have this amazing foundation of friends that are helping me. So anyway, thank you for having me tonight. Let me tell you guys a little bit about my story. So these are my girls and my husband, Mike. So we live on this tiny little island, and I've been practicing here. Pediatrics and adolescent medicine. I'm also a lactation consultant, which I absolutely love. So I've been practicing here about 29 years, and I love my little island. So about 4 years ago, I hit a big birthday, a really big birthday, and it kind of scared me. I just didn't feel good. You know, you guys probably have felt this at some point in your life where you feel like you lost your mojo, right? Where I thought, you know what, seriously, I'm feeling not myself. I'm usually happy and bubbly and positive, and I really, deep down inside, just didn't feel good. My girls had gone to college, and they were my life, you know, and just used to working all the time and coming home and doing kids and everything. All of a sudden that changed, and I thought, oh no, what am I going to do? So Dr. McKee, Sean and Mike and I had gone to high school together, and this is the thing, guys. People, when you're on social media, people are watching you. When they're not, they may not be commenting. I get on social media every once in a while, but I was really intrigued by Dr. McKee's post about biohacking and cognitive health. And I knew Sean from high school, and she just was always a clean eater, smart girl. And so I reached out to her one day and said, okay, I need some help. And so she told me about Protandim, and it really fascinated me. At the time, I was really interested in also some weight loss, because I had gained about 30 pounds. And so we talked a little bit about that. But I tell you what, you guys, this Protandim really fascinated me. And Marilyn asked if I talk a little bit about our NRF2 synergizer, which to me is just amazing, right? And now the addition of our other two synergizers is like, oh my gosh, it's blowing my mind. So if you guys are listening in and you can't see my slides, I'm going to talk you through them, because the first one says transform your life with LifeVantage, because that's what it did for me, and it's done that for so many people. And these stories that I hear, you guys, along with my personal story, have just kind of propelled me to move forward and want to share. So I have, you know, when we were in Cancun, you know, if you guys were there, we were talking about belief, right? You have to have 100% belief. And my little island, this tiny little island, people knew me and knew what you know, I'm passionate about my patients. I love them. I care for them. They know when I tell something to them that I believe in, I believe in what I'm saying. So I had to stand behind the product. So it was 100% belief. So I love the products. I love the people. This is a picture If you guys were in California at the event, the girl sitting in the car is my sister, Suzanne. Suzanne won the $50,000 raffle. I mean, we just were beside ourselves. I could not believe it. Suzanne's story is one of my whys too, because it's transformed her life. She's working on 100-pound weight loss, and she has literally biohacked her life. So it all goes back to good health, right? Good health, good life. It's just that full circle, and it all goes together. And it's super important. This screen, it says take care of your body. It's the only one you have to live in, right? It's the only one. Make the most of it. So I think because I'm in pediatrics, I love nutrition. I believe in its healing potential. And that is really key. And I love LifeVantage because that's what this is, you guys. This is food for your cells. Very simple. Nutrition is key, and it's food for your cells. So we talk about biohacking at LifeVantage, right? So let's talk first about hijacking. So we all know we're being hijacked every day, and it's scary. Marilyn and I were just talking about, before you guys hopped on, with the threat of coronavirus, and now being in Georgia and a couple more cases. And you know, I know we were talking about that at the hospital. We really don't want to cause this, you know, crazy scare, but it is something to think about. You know, all of these new viruses that are coming out and really wreaking havoc on our bodies. Part of this is in the hijacking. We're getting hijacked physically through illnesses and injury and diseases, emotional, and that's what I felt. I felt like I was being hijacked through the emotional stress that I was experiencing. It was something new in my life. I didn't know how to handle it, but it certainly hijacked everything in my life. So we're being hijacked by our toxins in our food, our environment. We all talk about the EMFs. You guys, kids come in my office and they're all on their phones and their iPads. And so, you know, that really is a concern. Pollutants outside, right? I mean, I've been traveling more than I ever have in the past couple of years with LifeVantage, and every time I go through those jet fumes, I think, oh my gosh, I'm gonna double up on my Protandim today. So, and it's food too, right? There's a lot of chemicals in our food. So all of those things are hijacking us. So biohacking, break up that word. Bio is life, right? And in this term, biohacking, hacking is optimizing. So this is about optimizing your life. And we want to do that, and we want to optimize it and make our genetic potential the very best it could be. And this is, you know, this is my theme throughout the whole thing is, and I know you guys hear this all the time, but you want to be the best version of you. Whatever God intended for you to be, we want it to be the best version of us. So I love this being in science, that we're using nutrigenomics and how nutrition can affect that gene potential. I pulled some of these statistics off Time magazine. And this is so exciting to me because I want to be one of those little ladies that lives to be 110, maybe more. I love to dance. I love to see those older women that are dancing on YouTube, because I was like, that's going to be Debbie Zito one day. So back in 1925, you know, the lifespan at that point was just 59. And in 1955, it was 70. 1985, 75. 2015, 79. So let's think forward. What could it be in 2045, right? I listened to a fabulous webinar last night, and we used to talk about the statistics on illness and cancer and the things that, you know, decreased our longevity, right? Well, guess what it is now? It's nutrition. It's poor nutrition. So to think about this, wrap your brain around this. If we got the right nutrition in our bodies from ourselves, from the inside out, really, we can push that longevity limits. And you guys can see me dancing at 110 because we're all going to be together. Okay. So we talk about your DNA is, you know, we used to think it was your destiny. You had 37 trillion cells. And I remember when I was in PA school, we talked about your DNA being your destiny. So here I had my birthday at 54 years ago, and I lost my mom to cancer at the very young age of 50. And that just kept going through my mind over and over. And I thought, what if I have the genetic predisposition? If I have cancer cells, it's not really a matter of if, but maybe when for me, right? So now we know that only 20% of your DNA is expressed, and 80% of that lies dormant. So it's up to us, you guys, to figure out what we're going to do with that 80%, and to know that you can change your gene expression. And this is what we call epigenetics, how your environment impacts the way your genes are being expressed. This is biohacking, and this excites me. I had to throw this in there. I love this. Look at this guy. This, if you don't see this, you guys, this little pony on day one, you can tell he's just hijacked. He's pitiful. That's how I felt. That's how I felt before I started Pro Tandem. My hair, my skin, I felt all of that. And then at day 20, look at him just standing up tall, like I am feeling good. And we all know our animals don't have a placebo effect. So I think about 4 years ago when I went to the health food store and I wanted to get some supplements. And you guys know, like me, it's a guessing game, right? There's not a lot of science behind it. We don't know what happens when you go in and you grab this for your hair, and you grab this for your skin, and you grab this for your energy. Well, what the heck? What's going to happen when you put it all together, right? And I remember the first time I went, and I usually don't tell anyone I'm in medicine, because really this is all new to me. I want to learn, and I don't want that to affect anything they're going to tell me. But I literally was taken to probably 10 different shelves. I gave them my symptoms, and then they said, okay, well, you need this and you need this. And it kind of reminds me of medicine. Now I've never practiced like this. Being in pediatrics, it's so important to get to the heart, to get to the root. And that's why I love functional medicine. And I think a lot of adult physicians are thinking that way now. But, you know, for so long, we just put Band-Aids on things, right? And we don't get to the root of the problem. And we know the root of the problem, because we all have been studying this, is oxidative stress, okay? So you can supplement all day long, but it's a guessing game. Or you can activate, and that's what LifeVantage is doing. They have the fire department that's coming in and putting the fire out, because you guys, our bodies are inflamed, aren't they? And they're using synergy. Synergy, of course, you put it all together, it works that much better. So this slide shows our 3 cell activators, and I love it. So you think about your 37 trillion cells and all these pathways on the cells, and it literally is flipping on switches in the cells. And I know this is not a guessing game. We know that it works. We've got the science behind it. I'm going to focus on our foundational one. This is the NRF2 Synergizer, okay? This is our big guy that's like our firefighters that comes in and cleans up and gets rid of waste. So what is oxidative stress? Just a quick review. When you are born and you start breathing, you start aging, right? Every time you breathe, which is 24/7, okay, your body's working 24/7, even when you're asleep, your body is oxygenating. When you are breathing, your body is making waste, okay? So we do a pretty good job getting rid of that waste up until the age of 20, right? And then it becomes a little bit more difficult. Now, in my practice, I have lots of kids who have underlying health issues that unfortunately cause higher oxidative stress, like autism and ADHD. And I have some with genetic, dysfunctional illnesses. So basically, we got to breathe, right? It's super important, okay? We take our first breath, we do that, and we keep going. So think about this, though. If your body's breathing, you're making those free radicals, what's that going to do? It's going to cause some cell damage, right? So again, the common denominator is oxygen. And so it's all good guys versus bad guys. So free radicals are the bad guys that are produced while your body is breathing. And the body does a pretty good job of getting rid of them, but what it doesn't, it's stressed, and this is oxidative stress, okay? So we think about this, oxidative stress is like the rusting of your cells from the inside out. And it is the root cause of hundreds of diseases and illnesses. It was interesting, that last slide showed metabolic syndrome. You guys, I've been doing pediatrics for 29 years. And in the past 5 years, we knew of metabolic syndrome probably within the past 10 years, where you get high blood pressure and insulin resistance and obesity and other things that come along with that. but probably in the past 5 years, I'm starting to see more metabolic syndrome in children. And this to me makes me really, really sad, okay? So think about oxidation, and I just said it's the rusting of our cells. Well, we know what happens to metal when we put it outside and oxygen meets metal, it rusts, right? Well, think about an apple too. So the apple does the same thing. You sit the apple on the counter, and what does it do? It corrodes over time. Well, this is what happens to our cells, and ultimately we get wrinkles. I was getting a lot of wrinkles. I'm happy to say I think they look a little better in the past few years, but I felt the aging hit me. Marilyn, we were talking about glutathione. So we have this internal pyramid of antioxidants, okay? So we can take direct antioxidants in our diet to fight oxidative stress, and kale and blueberry and raspberries, red wine, just to name a few of the things. But we have our primary internal antioxidants. They are already there, you guys. And they include the major ones that we're going to talk about: glutathione catalase and superoxidase dismutase, or SOD. You don't have to remember all those, but I want to talk a little bit about glutathione because that's the mama one. And these are all good guys, and we want to make more superheroes, right? We want to make more good guys. So let's talk about glutathione. This is our master antioxidant. So we can naturally take in those. Those cruciferous vegetables are really common, glutathione enhancers, Brussels sprouts and kale and cauliflower, all the things. In my practice, the kids are like, oh no. And I try to teach the parents from the start, just teach them green is good. Green is good, but it's the weirdest thing. Some reason they don't like it, So, and some of our meat and dairy products. So it is required by our immune system, and this depletes with age, poor diet, disease, infections, chronic emotional and physical stress. So it has huge protection against host immune cells. And we're talking right now, in the media about coronavirus. And this is a huge issue. I mean, we just had 2 more cases in the state of Georgia, and this is a problem. But glutathione, I think about this. I think every day I take my Vitality Stack plus my NAD, and I think this is my armor, and I put it on every day. And I tell everybody, it is literally my best meal of the day because I'm putting that armor on. And there are a whole bunch of studies that are showing the benefits of antioxidants when they're in response to some of these RNA and DNA viruses. So it has huge protection. And this is the coolest thing, guys. Remember in our original study that glutathione is increased by 300% in 90 days of taking Protandim NRF2. So it's increased by 300% in 90 days of taking our Protandim. So the picture just shows, okay, supplementation, again, it's a guessing game. You could take pounds of blueberries, like 11 pounds of blueberries, or 375 tablets of vitamin C. You guys, I had horrible asthma since I was a little girl. Horrible asthma. I was on steroid inhalers for years, and I used to study the benefits of vitamin C because we all knew vitamin C was good. It was a good direct antioxidant. So one time I thought, okay, I'm going to take a bunch of vitamin C. Do you know how many I had to take a day, which I never did? But I had to take 3,000 milligrams every single day for months to maybe improve that glutathione level and maybe reduce some of that pulmonary resistance that I was having. Well, that just wasn't going to work. I wasn't going to take all of that. I guess 87 glasses of wine, I wouldn't recommend that. But you're going to get a really high level of antioxidant production that way. So this is cool. You could either take one antioxidant, like take an apple, which is 3 direct antioxidants, depending on the size of the apple, and you get rid of 3 free radicals. So that's pretty good, right? Well, you know what? You guys are making tons of them every day. That's just not going to work. So when we take our Protandim NRF2, we are now getting rid of potentially millions of free radicals, all throughout the day. So to me, it just makes more sense to have activation. And this is what I love about LifeVantage. Another reason why I joined the company, because I thought, I don't think I've ever heard of this. And it's really unusual for a company to have science. I mean, I would go to pubmed.gov, the National Institute of Library of Medicine, when I wanted to look things up at work. And if you put in Protandim right now, you're going to see all of our published studies. There's actually 31 peer-reviewed studies. 27 of them are published now on pubmed.gov. So this slide that I'm showing just shows, of course, our oxidative stress level increases as we age. And you guys need to remember that when you recommend Protandim NRF2, if you recommend it by itself, that you need to remind them that it's going to take at least 1 month for every 10 years of their lifespan potentially where they may actually feel the difference. So this just shows with and without Protandim, and the benefits over time are certainly going to improve. And that's what I found personally. So we were talking a little bit about my story earlier. I lost my mojo, and I started taking these products, and about 6 weeks into it, you guys, I felt a calm and I felt better. And I thought, gosh, you know what? I think there's something to this. I had started my daughter on it. She had had gut issues since the time she was born. Of course, God would give a pediatric PA a baby with colic, right? We both cried, I think, for 3.5 months. So, but that's an example, the gut biome from the start can be affected by so many things. So I took these products, and over time, I have felt the compounding benefits, and all of my family members have. So when you take those 5 ingredients, we've got ashwagandha, bacopa, green tea extract, milk thistle, and turmeric. They're all very, very good antioxidants, but they make a slight difference in removal of free radicals. But when they put them together, they're 18-fold more effective. And in medicine, that means they're 1,800% more effective. That is just a wow. And now, I know we're not talking about the other cellular activators today, but you guys need to take a look at the results of what happens when we add in the NRF1 and the NAD synergizer. I mean, it has amazing efficacy. So this slide just talks about some of the independent research, and I love this too. These were not funded by LifeVantage. We've got Harvard, Ohio State, Colorado State, Washington State University. Oh, I just noticed Dr. Phil is on that. I don't know if you've ever seen that, Marilyn, but I didn't know. I guess we have had a show on Dr. Phil, but Wall Street, the Today Show. So all of these are just fun things, that add to that validation. So these are the review of our Protandim NRF Synergizer. These are the benefits. We're detoxifying genes, right? You guys, we're getting rid of waste. We're getting rid of those free radicals that wreak havoc on our body. We know that it's clinically proven to reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days, okay? And that just gets better over time. So we're optimizing our cells, or biohacking. Remember, biohacking is optimizing our life, okay? We're reducing our cellular stress. We have the capability now of neutralizing more than 1 million free radicals. And our product, this product upregulates survival genes. I love when people talk about, show the piano analogy, and all the discordant keys and everything not working well together. And when we add in cellular activation, that it just kind of brings this calm down, and we regulate or upregulate survival genes. So I think it's the coolest thing to give, to turn on those switches in our body where we naturally repair and rejuvenate our own cells. I love that we have the ability for nutrition to heal. And you guys have probably seen this one, that Washington State said potentially it's the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. So back to my story, you guys. I took the products for 1.5 years, and like Marilyn said, I went to Orlando. I actually went there to meet Sean. She asked if I would meet her, and I said, well, sure. We hadn't seen each other in years, and one of my best friends lived down there. Honestly, you guys, thinking that I would probably go and meet her and probably maybe sneak out, because that's a lot of times what I do in medical meetings, because I can't sit there that long. They just are interesting to me. Do you know what? I never ever left that meeting. I was so empowered. I've never been in a room where you just feel this energy and motivation and love and meeting the people and the stories. It just, I left that and I came home and thinking, I feel led to share this. And doors kept opening up. I mean, literally, things were falling in my step. I mean, right in front of on my steps. And this slide says you don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to take the first step. And that made me really nervous because I'm a planner, you guys. I like to plan things. And God tells me I can't do that. But I like to know. And I think having kids, I just always like to organize things and plan it. Well, with this, I totally didn't do that at all. I just took that step. I took that leap of faith and I thought, whatever comes to me. And if you guys have not read Carrie Dickey's book, it's the Network Marketing View from Venus. You have to read that. She is awesome, even if you download it on audio, because she's going to talk about her blue M&M. Marilyn, have you read that book about her blue M&M?
Yeah, I was at the book launch. She's in our upline, so yep.
She is precious. She is just one of, I just love her so much. And I just felt like I was given a lot of blue M&Ms. And, so I felt led I had that momentum and I felt loved and I felt like I had that support. And that's how I feel with all of LifeVantage. I feel like I have this humongous family all over the country. And I love everybody talks about the nature of this company and everybody wanting to help each other. And Marilyn, thank you so much for asking me tonight. And and that worked out perfect. Because I want to be there and I want to help everybody because I'm just motivated, by you and your stories and your team that you have here tonight. And I'm looking forward to meet all of you. I hope all of you are coming to Las Vegas or Jacksonville. And so I'm looking forward to it. I think that's it. This is just some of my team. You see the big ship in the background? I just noticed this. So this is one side of my island, right? And they dredged Jekyll Island, is historic island, and it's right behind that humongous boat in the picture. And they dredged out this area and they made a wonderful bridge, but it brought in lots of jobs to our little town. And they put humongous cars on these big carriers. So probably about maybe 3 months after this, well, maybe it was a little bit longer. Anyway, after one of the hurricanes, that one of those big guys got stuck in the sand. And if you Google St. Simon's Island, you will see one of those big guys. It stuck and tipped over, and it is filled with cars. And fortunately, no oil leaked, but it's going to take about a year to bring that guy apart. But it's just some of my sweet team. I love all the people. Of course, I feel like we're all one LifeVantage team. So I'm thankful. I'm going to stop my share. Let's see if I can figure that out.
I'm impressed. If you're just figuring out Zoom this last year, you're doing like a rock star. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, anyone else have any questions for Debbie tonight? I know, we had about this whole scare about this virus, and we see so much stuff on Facebook, and but really, it really, if you think about it, the regular flu kills more people a year than,
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I think we really have to be realistic.
We have to be careful, right? It is a RNA virus, and it's spread through large droplets. So I feel like I said, I put my Protandim on every day. That's my best armor because we're still inundated with influenza in my area. Viruses, they're everywhere and they're getting smarter. I mean, think about this. The common cold virus, last I looked, there were almost 295 rhinoviruses out there. So some of my little people come in and they say, I've got the same cold, Miss Debbie. And I go, honey, it's probably not the same cold. It's the same symptoms, but a different virus. Mm-hmm. So Marilyn, you're right. We've got to realize that these are definitely providing amazing protection for ourselves. I honestly cannot remember the last time I was sick, and look what I'm around every day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my kids at school have been healthy. My youngest, her gut is the best I've ever seen. It's a huge success story. She's had attention issues since she was little, and she's responding to cellular activation. So it's a good thing.
It really is. And I think what we have is so unique. And we were just on a coaching call before this, a bunch of our leaders in our company. And the gal that was on there, she said, you know, your products are so amazing. And she goes, there's two things that are causing like this panic out there. And it's number one, it's health. And number two, it's, you know, how do I do my job if I'm supposed to avoid public places? And the fact that network marketing provides that of a way to earn money while we are home, and we could do this from anywhere. I mean, it really is kind of and just a way to earn extra income in this time of, you know, uncertain markets. And so I think we're offering some huge, massive solutions to these, you know, problems that are out there right now.
Love that. I literally, you guys, working full-time pediatrics, I literally grew to a Pro 7 with this amazing group of people, but we all did the same thing. We very simply shared, hey, I have something all natural that's helping my family. Would you be interested in hearing a little bit more information about it? And I did that. I said the same thing, you guys, because I had that about this much time. I did the same thing. You know, I would share, I use biohackandactivate.com, and I would share that, which includes the ABC primetime video. And then I would make sure that I'd follow up with them. And if you have an educational group, you know, add people to there. And I would suggest this, you guys, because when I first started doing this, you know, I thought I'm a medical professional and I need to explain these products in a very detailed manner. Well, what I found, number one, was that I bored myself. I couldn't even listen to myself. I confused myself. And I thought, if I'm doing that to me, guess what? Marilyn's not going to want to listen to me. And also, if Marilyn is even thinking about doing this and share it with other people, she's going to think she's going to have to do the same thing I do. So, so honestly, I shifted my whole mindset. And when I did that, that's when I felt my business just grew like crazy, because it was simple. We have something natural that's helping lots of people. Okay. And so if you keep it simple and duplicate it, you'll feel, number one, more confident in what you're doing. And it's so much easier to share and grow that way. And you know, for the first time in my life, I thought I was going to probably live to be one of those little ladies to 100, but I probably was going to be working till I was 100, working my job. And Life Vantage to me is so much fun. It is not a job. It's not, people say it's hard. And you know, I don't see it. It's not hard work. It does take a lot of time and effort. I believe that. I do something every single day in my business, but I don't think it's hard. It's fun. So, you know, I would just keep it simple. Keep doing do something every single day, and don't be afraid, because your blue M&Ms are out there. I promise. And some of my blue M&Ms right now are people I would have never, ever, ever expected to be in network marketing. Like me, first of all, I didn't know what it was. Now I think I've been networking all my life. I network with my patients all day. I was already doing it. I just had to think of it in a different manner. You know, so the beautiful people that have done this with me are amazing people that want to help other people. And we just keep it simple, and we keep connected.
So basically you're working this outside of your practice for the most part, right?
Yes, actually, I work for a hospital. My practice is owned by the hospital, and I'm really actually not allowed to. I mean, because this is a product I sell, and I'm really not allowed to do that. So I was able to grow a Pro 7 business outside of my full-time pediatric and adolescent practice.
Wow.
So it's really, and if people, I live in a small area and many people have reached out to me, like I got on social media and I swear I would never do that. I'd never be on Facebook, but it is a great way to share. So if I have someone reach out to me and say, Miss Debbie, I saw that you are talking about these natural products, and I reach out to them later after work, and it really hadn't been that hard. I'll send some emails or something on social media. And like I said, I think the important thing is to get out of your comfort zone, for sure. Wouldn't you say, Marilyn? I mean, how many times have you gotten out of your comfort zone?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
And it's always a lesson. It's never a failure. You've always learned something from it, right? That's what I always taught my kids. You're never a failure. It's always a lesson learned, right?
Yeah, and just do you want to talk just a tiny bit about the new NAD? What did you notice when you started with the NAD, or your patients or anybody?
Well, I look at the NAD, so I divide these three up. I look at the NRF2, that's the NRF2 to activate your antioxidants. Your NRF1, okay, is your mitochondrial enhancer, so that's energy, guys. And then your NAD, I look at that as as one of the master cleanup crews. They just make the NRF2 and the NRF1 work that much better. So when I started the NAD, I had already had amazing energy. Okay, so I had that energy, but I felt my level of focus just got a little bit higher. I felt like, what's that Keanu Reeves movie where do you know which one I'm talking about?
Well, I was thinking of the one Limitless.
Limitless, yeah. So anyway, it wasn't quite like that, but I felt, now some people had the paradoxical effect when they were detoxing. Some people got very sleepy at first. And what I found with that is that they had two options. They could take their NAD at night, right? And have that cellular activation, be improved while they're sleeping. And then normally after about a week to 10-day period, they seemed to recover, and then they started taking in the morning with the other two and didn't have any problems.
Anyone else have any quick questions? Thank you.
Hey, Deb, I've got a question. I have a dear friend of mine who has suffered some traumatic brain injury, some concussions, and it's really taken a long time for her to recover. And one of the things that is a lingering symptom is tinnitus.
Mm-hmm.
So she just started on NRF1 and NRF2 and Axio, and within the first week. And she said that she's feeling her energy is good and her sleep seems better, but the tinnitus seems to have gotten a little bit worse before it's maybe going to get better. So is that common?
I actually had heard that from someone else, but it resolved.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's taking the NAD also, or just the NRF2?
No, just the NRF1 and NRF2 and Axio right now. And it's only been a week.
I had heard that with one person. Now, some people will add in a little physical therapy for that too. I don't know if she's done that. If she has done that in the past, I would probably add that back in during this interim. But I heard that just from one patient, but it resolved.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Deb, this is Denise, and that was an excellent presentation. I was just having a curiosity. I've actually had 2 customers with the NAD who were postmenopausal, and their hot flashes came back with the NAD. And one stopped the product because she said, I don't want to anti-age that much. And the other one is suffering through. Have you heard of that, or do you have any advice on what we could do different?
Well, what I would do, it depends on how tolerable the symptoms are. If they are intolerable, I always reduce the dose. Remember when we is she taking the 1 and the 2 with it?
Yes, she was.
Okay, so I think that's really important because, the 3 together are almost 1,500 and 1,700% more effective. So what I would say with that, and I have that, I have had a good friend who noted that, but I think that's part of the detox. So if it's intolerable, I would take 1, and I would do that for 7 days and make sure she hydrates really she needs to take a lot of intake of water. So I find when people are detoxing, if they drink more water, if they eat more cleanly, being careful not to have any exogenous caffeine or any packaged food, all of that I think helps with the detox reaction.
Okay. Both of them started immediately right in October. And one of them, the symptoms were so intolerable, and she decreased to 1 tablet, but I don't know if she did the water and everything. One of them, it was so intolerable that she did stop, and within a week after stopping the product, her hot flashes resolved. And the other one is continuing, has tried both decreasing to 1 a day and even tried to increase to 3 a day to see if that made a difference, but neither one of them made a difference.
Well, I've had some patients, of course, we don't take anything at the same time, but have added some magnesium in, and they seem to have some improved response too.
Okay. Well, I just thought I'd throw that out. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's interesting you said that. I had a little bit of that the first week too, but then it went away. But I stuck with the 2. I'm one of those people, I figure I might just push through it.
What about?
Yeah, oddly, like I said, the one has started in October, and she continues to have them. And it's like, okay, I'm going to stick this out and see how long I can handle it. And it's both, hot flashes during the day and night sweats. The other one, it was so intolerable that after about 2 months, and she had gone down a dose, she just couldn't tolerate it anymore.
I think that's hard. I mean, that would be difficult for me too. I mean, 60 days is a long time,
Right, especially after not having hot flashes for a few years.
Amen to that.
But isn't that one of the studies is showing that NAD can sometimes put women back into fertility?
Yes, I've heard that with the NRF2 because we've had lots of amazing fertility stories.
Right. So, I mean, that would maybe stand to reason there's something shifting, but also make sure, Denise, that she's tried DHEA spray as well.
Okay, that's an option.
Yeah.
All right.
And magnesium is very important too, especially during cold flu season as well. But awesome. Any other quick questions? Thank you. This has been amazing. So I appreciate your willingness to join us, especially since last minute. We asked you last night, so I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem.
This has really been wonderful. And if you want to see that clip of Dr. Phil, it was probably back in 2012. It was Donny Osmond told Dr. Phil that he was taking Protandim, and that is how he kept his energy for his Vegas shows.
Oh, I remember someone telling me Donny Osmond. So that was Dr. Phil. Okay.
That was on Dr. Phil. So that is where that clip. Yeah, if you look on YouTube, that's where you'll find that. That was kind of a.
Oh, I'll find Donny Osmond. I love Donny Osmond.
Yeah.
I'll find.
Awesome. Well, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And you guys all have a wonderful night. Remember our March Madness contest that's going on. Keep track of your points. I have it listed on our team page. Also, just remember the regionals coming up. Get enrolled for that. And also convention coming up, Road to Convention. And then we'll have our next team call is next Tuesday night. Excited to talk to you then. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Good night.
Guys, good night.
Thanks, Abby.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.